happened in Ethiopia. One, you have a liquidity crisis where there's no dollars. The currency has fallen from 80 to 145 in about 6 months, Ethiopian birr. So you've had a huge depreciation. Secondly, the Ethiopian government then decided to put retroactive taxes on cooking oil, sugar, rice, wheat flour, which amounted to about 22% of the value of each product. So huge value, which takes time to rebalance. You then have what we call the cancellation of the Franco Valuta permits, which is the open import permit outside of the official banking channel. So through Hawala, being able to pay for sugar that's going into Ethiopia via Dubai, which you're not allowed to do anymore. It all has to take place from within the region. And then lastly, which is probably the most challenging, and I can kind of understand why the government's done it, but the government, one of the big ways to get a product into a country is to barter something out to get your hard currency. So Ethiopia, most of us have been caffeinated by them today. Very nice, lovely coffee beans, but they're a huge producer and exporter of coffee for the global market. And that has been the major forex driver of which sugar, rice, oil, etc. has been going in against. But let's say I want to export coffee today. Yes, I can do that. I'll pay for it in dollars, but then I've got to take 60% of that dollars back to Ethiopia and convert it back to Ethiopian birr. So no one wants to do that today. You don't want to get stuck in a currency like that. So it's completely frozen trade, and it's things like that it comes back to the African Pan-African Free Trade Agreement. You've got Djibouti and Ethiopia battling each other. So how can you get Ghana and Namibia to do a trade deal, or Senegal and Kenya? I think we're still such a long way when even the closest of neighbours and allies can't even play nicely with each other. But liquidity is the big one. We're seeing it. We see it all over the continent.
Are they not consuming? Not consuming?
At the moment, Ethiopia, the prices are rising. But you've got so many barriers against it. It's going to have to move at some point. Same thing happened on rice earlier in the year. Prices got completely out of control, and then suddenly the floodgates opened and it moved. But really, it's the same with sugar. We're going to see. We're going to see that tightness of the pipelines, and it's going to have to pull it through. But right now, we're sitting on, 120, 130,000 tons of stock in Djibouti. It's big stocks there, and it's challenging. It shapes people's beliefs in what is going on. So Africa is difficult. It's opaque, and that's what we specialize in.
People, you can help that 120,000 tons to be hedged.
Yeah, but it's things like that make it just so challenging to trade. Please, there's a question here in front. So we get the mic.
Hello everybody, my name is Faisal, I'm from Morocco, Africa. I am so glad to be here with you to hear your intervention about Africa, but I would like to underline and to highlight our situation in Morocco. And the business is growing very fast in Morocco. We have now the industry of the automotives, we have several industries of iron, food stuff, and we are becoming the hub of Africa. Even our currency is very stable, so I think even though that we are part of Africa, but the development in Morocco, it's super huge. It's keep running with a great pace. So I would like to hear your intervention about this. Thank you.
In terms of how Morocco is affecting the rest of the continent, or just globally?
Both, if you can.
I suppose, if I just start, obviously your geographical position is such that you're so close to Europe that, you have all of that European influence. You've got Europe as a big export market. You've got a relatively cheap labour pool. So for producing things, as you said, whether it's, steering racks for cars, or, production, of steel, steel-related products, food stuff. You're just in a great location. As you said, stable currency. That's one of the key drivers. If you've got a stable currency on the African continent, it's your superpower today. It puts you at a very big advantage, over a lot of other people.
Morocco also has a huge inflow of dollars from the residents residing abroad.
There you go.
That has been one good factor controlling the currency.
But I will add something, because we had the previous panel, discussing about cryptos. You know,
This is last comment.
yeah, this one. I mean, you can solve what the guy was talking about, Tether and stable coins. Okay, immediately you can solve many of these problems with that, because, for example, in Ethiopia, you shouldn't go back to Burr and whatever. You can just trade with these cryptos. Okay, those are instruments that now are not developed enough. Maybe in 10 years' time.
I think it's going to have to be faster.
Yeah, but
gonna have to be
population is
Yeah.
growing, so you need this. So you see, the AI also, these things will solve some problems, not all of them, but maybe will open minds, you know, and then government will sit down together and start discussing, right?
Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. Everyone, if you could please give the panel a wonderful round of applause.